Now, with some of the cars we feature on Dream Deals, it's perhaps a stretch of the imagination to say that they kept us awake at night. But the next car, for me anyway, it's a bona fide dream deal. 20 years ago, I used to lie awake thinking about the Audi Quattro coupe. Now, there are still some of those cars available, so here's a buyer's guide on how to get your hands on your own dream deal.
The UR is without doubt one of the most desirable rally-inspired performance cars ever made. But with such high popularity comes high second-hand values. For example, we've seen a 1984 model that will still cost you £6,000. But if you're willing to do a little work, how does a 1983 model without a driver's seat sound for £2,500?
Paid just under $15,000 for it 15 years ago. Now, it'd be hard to put a price on it. It's like anything, it depends on what someone would be prepared to offer me on it. But a similar model of a similar age would probably fetch around $5,000 to $6,000. It's not so much troublesome, they're quite sturdily built, they last a long time, gearbox is strong, engines is strong. Parts do tend to be quite expensive, but if it's well looked after, you don't need to buy too many parts.
If you should get a little carried away and discover that you're the next Richard Burns, what's it going to cost to put your UR back on the road? Well, the good news is not a great deal. For example, a new fiberglass tailgate and spoiler can be yours for a little over £100, whilst a central locking pump would be a snip at £25.
Now, this turbocharged four-wheel drive coupe was obviously a specialist vehicle, but there was a cheaper, less powerful alternative. The Series 3 coupe had a lot of the looks of the Quattro, and there's a lot more of those around, so here's a buyer's guide.
The Series 3 was a much more rounded and softer version than the original Quattro. Performance wasn't as spectacular, and as a result, used models aren't as sought after, although it's still a pretty good car. And the good news is that there are plenty of models around. For example, we've seen a 1990 2.3 Quattro for £2,500 and a 2.8 V6 for just under £4,000.
Paid just under £2,500 for it. It's worth maybe a little bit more than that because standard road cars go for that. I've done full brakes on it since buying it and a few electrical jobs on it. It's totally modified, it's not a standard car. It's got a roll cage, fire system in it, seats and harnesses. It's a superb vehicle for tarmac road rallying and stage rallying. It's well set up, permanent four-wheel drive. The suspension's solid and stiff like a go-kart, and it really performs well.
Now, in terms of repairs and running costs, the coupe is pretty good. If the car's been well looked after, then it should run and run with only the usual maintenance work needed. A set of spark plugs will only cost £16, whilst a cam belt will set you back about £18.